What's up guys, it's Ben with C3 Media, and today I'm going to show you guys how to change oil on my 2017 F-150 that has the 2.7 liter V6 EcoBoost. So I'll go ahead and show you guys on the product we have and what we're going to change it with. So to get things started here, I'll show you guys the products that I will be using in this video here. And this truck calls for SAE 5W30, and the truck's got 28,000 miles on it now, and I'm just going ahead and using what the factory uses, using the Ford Motorcraft stuff. It's the synthetic blend motor oil. It takes 6 quarts, so I've got the big 5-quart jug and then the extra 1 quart. I've got the place that I bought it from did not have any Motorcraft filters for this truck, so I ended up having to go with a Fram Extra Guard. I'm not too terribly concerned with it because even though this is synthetic stuff, I change it every 3,000, so hopefully on the next change I can get another Motorcraft filter. And then I'm going to do a air filter change, and this is just the Fram Ultra Guard. Last time I changed oil, that's the filter I used as well, and I've had pretty good luck with Fram in the past. Next up, I'll show you guys the tools that it takes to change oil on one of these trucks, which is honestly pretty simple. It's got a skid plate underneath that has 4 10mm bolts in it, so I've got a little impact here with a 10mm on it. The drain plug is actually kind of like a twist off sort of deal, and then so we don't need any tools for that. And then the oil filter is a 27mm, and then I've just got that socket and a 1/2-inch drive to go with that. So here I am with the truck. I've had it set here for a little bit over an hour. I've had the hood up and everything, and the hood is just kind of warm to the touch, so I didn't want to come in here and pull the plug and have scalding hot oil come out, so that's definitely something to think about. I wouldn't come in and pull the plug as soon as you pull it into the garage and pop the hood. So we are here underneath the truck, and the first thing to do is you have to take 4, and I lied earlier, these are 8mm bolt heads here that hold this kind of belly pan skid plate kind of thing on. So I've got a 8mm on this little impact here, and we'll get started by taking these things off. This is the skid plate here that I took off. There are all those, again, 8mm bolts that come out of there. The bolts will stay in as they've got these little metal retainers on here, so the J-clips will stay on the truck and the bolts will come off with this little pan. We've got that little skid plate off, and now we're underneath here. This is the oil pan, and this is the drain plug that I was talking about that you don't need any tools to take off. It's just kind of a twist off little deal. So I'll go ahead and get this set up. I've got my drain pan sitting here, and we'll get this drain plug pulled out. A little bit of an example. This is the drain plug that comes out of the truck, so it sits in there like this, and it will show you that it's got arrows on it. It will go right to close, left to open, and then it's just got kind of like a 1.5 kind of thing on here with a little O-ring. Before we pull the old oil filter off of this thing, I've got a little tip on here that I watched in another video on the first time that I changed the oil on this truck, and it was about these little O-rings that go with these new filters. And I watched the guy kind of struggle with putting this little small O-ring on the new filter, and he soaked them in automatic transmission fluid before he put them on there. I've never done it without it, so I kind of don't know, but it's just something that I take a little extra precaution on, just making sure that O-ring gets on there and seats nice and tight and gets these things nice and lubricated. We are up here in the engine bay on this truck, ready to take the little cartridge oil filter off. I've got a 27mm socket on a 1/2-inch drive ratchet here, and this is what contains your little cartridge filter here. And it's not very tight. It goes into an aluminum, the body of it's aluminum, and it's a little plastic housing, so it'll be real easy on the threads when you're threading it back on. You should just be able to unscrew the filter like this. Now we'll go get some towels to have them ready so we don't drip oil all over the bay here. As you see here, it's got the 2 O-rings there and then one little small one up top. And this is actually your cartridge filter here. That will then slide off, that I'll show you in the next little flip. Before we cut away to showing you guys the filter, I've got a rag and I've sprayed a little bit of brake cleaner on it. And I'll take it kind of down here in this hole where the filter came out of and clear it of any kind of debris. That way nothing falls down in there, and when we seat it back in, it's a nice clean surface. So we're back over here on the workbench, and I've got the old filter. You should just be able to pop loose from there and pull out, and this will match this one here. And then you will just, I found best to just take a razor blade and just slice these 3 little O-rings here. We're not going to use them, we've got new ones that'll fit. Also, in place of a razor blade, I just kind of thought, I've got this little pig tool. You can come up underneath here and grab this thing and pull it over the top. And now we have the O-rings off, and we're ready to put these new O-rings on. So we are ready to pull these out of this little transmission fluid a little bit. You don't want these things soaked on here, it's not going to hurt anything. But this, I'll just slide over the top here. Slide that one into the first little grommet hole there. Second one locked up in here, and then the tough one is going to be that thick little O-ring that goes up in the top up here. So this one here is definitely a little bit of a tricky one. And the best thing I've found, I think I've found the trick to do it, is just put one of the edges in the actual little ridge that goes in here and put this pick tool in and then just pry it over the top. So finally, after a couple tries off camera here, I did get this top little O-ring put on here, and like I said before, the best way to do it is I just put the lip of this O-ring in that ridge right there and grab the opposite end and kind of pulled it over the top, and you had to have two hands to do it, and then kind of push down with these fingers here and work it down onto that little spot there. So we are ready to put this new cartridge in here, and I don't think this thing matters directionally, but I'll put it to where the numbers came down, because that looks like how it was the last time I pulled it out. And it'll just snap right in there like that. And it is ready to go back on the truck just like this. Back in the engine bay here, so I've got the new O-rings and new little cartridge filter in this housing here. And that is the hole we were shooting for right there. So we'll go ahead and get this thing threaded in by hand before we hit it with the 27mm socket. And do make sure that you get this thing threaded in correctly the first time, because it is just small little plastic threads screwing into an aluminum housing. So we've got to our first O-ring, and that is where we will have to start cranking on it to get this thing to seat down. And once this thing reaches snug, I would go ahead and stop, not to over tighten it, and crack this housing or strip the threads out. There we are, we just hit tight and one little push, and I believe we are tight right there. Here's just another side view of that filter. I know I didn't show it very well. I had it kind of setting on the radiator support on this truck. But this is our filter right here, and I'm standing on the passenger side of the truck over by the headlight. And that's how you get to that. It's pretty easy to get to, a lot easier than the actual screw-on filter like I had on my last truck. A lot easier to get to, a lot less mess, a little more work putting the O-rings on it, but I think all in all I kind of like this cartridge style filter a little bit better. Here we are back underneath the truck. I've got the drain pan pulled away, and we've got the plug getting ready to go back in here. Once you hear it snap, you are locked in on this thing, so pretty easy here. And we are ready to fill this thing back up with oil. Back underneath the hood again, and we are ready to pull out the plug for the filler on the oil. Right here on top of this engine cover. You'll always know because it will have the little oil can, and then again it'll tell you what kind of oil, SAE 5W30. And then I've got my funnel ready to go here. I gave it a little bit of shot of brake cleaner on the inside of here and cleaned it out. It kind of builds up a little dirt and debris in it. I usually like to kind of store a paper towel on the bottom of this thing. That way it'll keep any oil from on the sides dripping out the bottom when you store it, and it'll kind of keep this little filler net clean here. But you definitely want a clean funnel. Don't want any dirt in the oil or anything kind of like that. Position that there, and then we are ready to start putting oil in this thing. Leave that one upside down there to drain while I go get the last little quart. Step we got is to remove this funnel from the floor hole here. And I usually like to take the plug to the top up here and wipe this little grommet, and this will already clean all the little dirt and debris that might set down in there while it's sitting in the engine bay. Just trying to keep dirt and everything from getting down in the oil, keep it as clean as possible. Give the filter a little bit of an easier job, and it's kind of the same way as the drain plug on the front. It's kind of like a little half thread kind of thing here. You'll be able to feel it click when you put it in. And there you have it. It has got oil in it, and we are ready to fire this thing up and check for any leaks. Before we do our initial fire up on here, I've got a Fram Ultra Guard air filter here that I'm going to change. So we'll go ahead and show you guys how to do that before we go and fire this thing up. And it's just got no tools required on this thing. It's just got these two little snaps on this one side. And then it just has got some little pins that slide in over here, so this air box should be able to lift up. Pull this thing out. Air filter, it's honestly only been like 3 months, but for 10 bucks, I feel good changing it. It's a brand new truck to me. It's the newest thing I've ever had, so I definitely want to take the up and most best care of this thing that I can and keep it running the best. Got the matching filter here. You can compare these things. One looks a little bit cleaner than the other. It's easy as not. It's just lifting this box up. Dropping that down in there. Make sure these two little alignment pins line up in the back. Putting these clips back down over the top of it for a nice tight seal. So we're inside the truck. I don't have the truck on. I've just got the key turned right before we turn it on. And we're in our display mode right here. We'll go ahead and click over on the steering wheel and go down one to the engine information. It was on 62%, but it's been right about 3,000 miles and really close to 3 months since the last time I changed it. So to reset, it's pretty simple. It says right there, hold OK to reset. We're right here on the steering wheel, and we'll hold that. And as it's doing it, it will hold. And we're reset back to 100% oil life at 28,678 miles. So definitely take your information down on that so you're ready for your next change, and also the date, 3,000 miles or 3 months. Synthetic says you can kind of go 5,000. I always go 3 for how cheap an oil change is, and definitely cheaper than a trip to the service department. So here we are, the oil life is reset on the computer. So we'll go ahead and fire this thing up and check the drain plug and check the filter for any kind of leaks, and then we will go ahead and check the dipstick. Up here on the truck, I've got 6 quarts of oil in it. We ran it through there. We have reset the computer for 100% oil life. I've checked the dipstick and we're all good on the reading there, tested for leaks, and then I've got the skid plate put back up underneath. So I've got all the old oil here and the containers that it came out of, and so just make sure you properly dispose of that stuff. I work at a car dealership and they've got a big tank that we can dump it in. I think it's from Safety Clean. A lot of townships, I know we have some recycling places that you can go and dump used oil, so make sure you dispose of that stuff properly. And then the last thing we're going to do here is just clean up on some tools, make sure I don't put them back away with any oil left on them or anything like that. So thank you guys for watching. Please comment, like, subscribe. Let me know if you have any questions or comments or anything you'd like to see me do later on in some videos. So thanks for watching and have a great day.